Hello, welcome to episode 2, if you can call it that. Might be episode 1A. Episode 1 was a bit rubbish, I think. Didn't really have much to say. Don't really have much to say now. But I was just thinking the next podcast would be about life, how I see life, and what I'd want to do, and space, because I like space, I like physics, I like space, so I just thought I'd talk about them two topics. So life, what is life? Life to me is just what you make it. I think that I think people take our existence a little bit too seriously, and I think people get carried away a little bit with it depends where you put your importance, isn't it, and where you put your beliefs. I mean, most of the planet are religious. I'm not religious because I think it brings restrictions to your existence and why you're here. And I think, as physicists say, and as in modern day science says, it's a miracle we even exist, because of all the different elements that would have to come together at just the right time for us to exist. It's a great saying of the universe created us to observe itself, which in a way, when you break it down, it's true, because we're made of carbon atoms, and everything is made of certain elements and compounds are the same throughout the whole universe. So what the stars are made of are what we're made of. We're literally stardust. We are literally stardust, and stars are born and die all the time. So and there's things in this on this planet, never mind the universe, that are billions of years older than us, and they've gone. They've existed, and now they don't exist anymore. So I struggle to buy into this whole human beings are so much more important than anything else. I don't know, they're not. We exist, and one day we will not exist. It's as simple as that. And I don't mean to be down or anything on it. It's like, I think that's why it comes back to life. I think we're this beautifully complex thing where we have emotions and consciousness, and we can think and we feel, and if you can grasp that sort of reality and truth above all everything, of realizing how insignificant we are as a species to the rest of the universe, but then how significant we are, because if you can grasp that reality, how much more you can enjoy things, how much more you can just live your life. And I see it is an extremely simple thing, and it's made to be extremely complex when I don't think it needs to be. I think you go through things in life where what human life is all about: elation and tragedy. I mean, that's how I see our existence. That's why many people have wrote so many beautiful plays and books, and films have been made all based around them emotions of elation and tragedy. And I think that is it. That does explain the human existence, and it's things you can't really get away from when it comes to that sort of thing. When it comes to life, but you can prepare yourself for it. You can prepare yourself mentally for it by stripping everything back and going back to that basic thing of reality of we're here for a short space of time. I've gone a little bit philosophical about life, but a couple of things to say about it. And I think it is just about that, getting to that realisation and waking up that you can sort of do anything with your life. if you really want to, but there's no pressure on you doing nothing with your existence. But it really is the point of, you're not obstructed really by anything. You can literally go out there and do anything you want. Don't forget, society is made up. It's just a made up thing of how to try to get humans to live peacefully alongside each other and create some sort of structure to allow us to live in a certain way that again is made up. You don't have to do that. You really don't. It's like what the great Alan Watts would say is, if you could go to sleep one night and dream 75 years of a life in one night, what would you do? You're in control of your dreams. You can do whatever you want. So say you lived, say you dreamt, you lived 75 years in one night as a dream, and you're in control of your dreams, and you could do whatever you wanted, and you would fill every single desire that you could possibly want in 75 years, because it's your dream. You can do what you want, and you do your 75 years, and that's all great, and you've lived every desire you wanted to live, and you go, well, let's try a dream where I'm not in control. Let's do one gamble. We'll dream, and we won't be in control of this one, and we'll just let it go. So you go, wow, that was pretty amazing. I didn't see that one coming. Well, you don't, because you've given away your control of how you live your life in this dream. So then you go, oh, that was pretty mad. I'll do that again, and you do it again and again, and you get to a point of where you gamble anything and everything around the corner every single second. You don't know what really is going to happen next, and eventually you will dream the life you're living now. Eventually, that's what will happen, because so many people live their lives without control. And I don't mean control in the sense of looking after your children, or your job you go to every day, and the money that you get from your job to pay your bills. I don't mean that sense of control. I mean a sense of control of deep in your mind or in your heart. What would you really want to do, or what would you really love your life to be? That control. Very, very, very few people on the planet, have that control. The most of us want that control, but you just don't know how to go about it. You think it's impossible. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. And I think that little analogy by Alan Watts is beautiful, and it's great, where if you could go to sleep and you dream 75 years in one night, it's your dream. You can do what you want. So every single desire and every single thing you want, you make it happen, because it's your dream. What's to say this isn't a dream? This whole thing isn't a dream. Because when you do dream, a lot of the times you do think, you wake up and you think, wow, I felt real. Or you wake up disappointed because you've had a very good dream. Or you've had a nightmare and you've had a very bad dream, and you wake up happy that it wasn't real, and you're back into this reality. But life really is just an element of the existence of the universe, and you get one chance at it, and you get one shot at your own observation. So it could be, life is just a chosen word, but you could call it an observation. could call it a consciousness of what created you. You know, and again, you know, when you start going down that road, you start going into religion a little bit, and you know, many people do refer to what created you as God, and in a sense, that this universe, there is one big great energy. There is, because it's what happened, whether you believe in the theory of the Big Bang or not. We can see things now. We can see the cosmic background radiation, the oldest light in the universe. We can see it. We've seen it, and from that was an explosion. An explosion of energy. So, you know, it's all relative. It all relates. A lot of people that, you know, that don't, not religious, or the various, not even religious, various different types of religions. You know, some of, like, you know, the organized religions, and Christianity and Islam and Judaism, the Abrahamic, I don't know if that's a word, but the Abrahamic religions, you know, the religions from Abraham, they speak about their energy being a god, some sort of, you know, great and almighty that you must fear, that created you. The Buddhists believe in the da-da-da. I think that's what they say to us. It's 10,000 things. 10,000 things in the universe are all one, they're all connected. But I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to believe any of that, or even or believe it all. But maybe believe it all. You know, they're all related somehow. Everything in the universe is related. Everything, every single thing, because it all came from one point. So, and it seems to be, you know, going down a really huge philosophical rabbit hole there, but it all does tread back to what is life. What is life for you as a human being? So forget about the vastness of the universe and everything else. Forget about it, but take it in first. Get it all in first, and have it, and then create your conclusions from that, because it does help. I think it does help, because you realise that, well, if we exist for a short space of time, or if we exist for a long space of time, but we exist, like many millions of other things that have existed and don't exist anymore, you know, they've had their time in the universe and now they're gone, and then the same thing will happen. And I think once you grasp that, you think, well, you know, what am I doing? I should be doing something I love, or I should be just enjoying this experience, because that's what it is. It's an experience. You know, there is no past, there is no future, there is now. There is nothing behind and there's nothing in front. There is just this moment right now, and then it's up to you what you decide to do with that. You know, and I decided, you know, some time ago just to try and enjoy it. You know, just to try and enjoy it. I mean, things happen in life, as in, you know, you're talking about now the human existence, as existing as a human being. Like I said earlier, I think the whole human existence is breaks down into two different words, or two different types of emotion: elation and tragedy. And I think all the greatest pieces of art, poetry, music, plays, stories, anything that's ever written is always really fundamentally renowned, sort of existed out of them two types of emotions: elation and tragedy. And I think that's where it is. It's a bit of a roller coaster ride, and I think you just got to hold on and just enjoy it. No, first half of the podcast at home today, second half in the office. I had to come to the office, do a little bit of work, unfortunately, but the podcast continues. It's pretty much where we left off before, really. Just my take on life, I guess, and how I think it should be lived freely of any sort of boundaries, really, that you try and restrict you, because most boundaries that you think are there, or you try and give yourself, and I don't mean give yourself in the sense of why would you give yourself a boundary, like to do, I mean as in like you unintentionally do it, you subconsciously do it, and it's all mentally, really, anyway. So I try not to do that. I try not to give myself any boundaries in life, and try and have sort of a philosophy in life where I think anything is possible, and I think everybody should do that. And I think you'll be a lot more happier, because it's like the word hope. It's like a lot of people misconstrue that for sort of like religious beliefs, and you sort of hope. What do you mean hope? I hope this, I hope that. Just go and do it, or it'll never happen. I don't use the word hope like that. I use the word hope to help me, really, to help me mentally. No matter how bad your day might have gone, I've had some bad days, you can always fall back on hope in the context of the sun will rise tomorrow. The sun will come up tomorrow, and then you can plan again. Let's go again. Let's see what happens today. Let's forget about yesterday, forget about yesterday's failures, forget about not even if it's necessarily failures, but forget about if any bad things that have happened to you the day before, because there is no yesterday and there is no tomorrow, in a sense that there is only now. So you act now. You do what you need to do now, and don't worry about what happened a minute ago or what's going to happen a minute in front, because you can determine that. And that's how I try and do it. That's how I try and do it. That's how I get myself through sticky moments in my life, because like I mentioned before, with the notion of worry, it's like there's no point in doing it. There's no point in worrying, because it just sends you on that vicious cycle of worry, and then you begin to worry that you're worrying, and what do you do then? And just try and put as much positivity in your life, in your day, as possible, and go about your business. Just go and do it. I like what Joe Rogan said, an American comedian. He said, if you're stuck in life and you don't know what you're doing, and when you get to that point, you don't know what you're doing, that that will eventually bring you down. It will bring you down. It will make you depressed, and you don't know how your life's going to go, and you want this and you want that. He said, if your life was a film and you're the superhero in that film, what would you do? I think it's as simple as that. I think it is as simple as that. You live in a free society, so there are many. The access to information is so easy now and so quick, as where you can learn yourself anything just through the internet. And you can teach yourself all sorts of things. You can just progress yourself as a human being, and that's what I try to do every day. And I think it makes me a better person, because I think it broadens your knowledge and it unnarrows your mind. It broadens the mind. There's a famous saying, travel broadens the mind. Maybe it does. It probably does. But so does knowledge. And so does having a thirst for knowledge and a passion for wanting to learn. And that's what I do. So if I was to give anybody advice, I'd just say, just don't give up. No matter what you're going through, don't give up. And there's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. And then when you get there, act in that moment. Don't, like, it sounds like a little bit like I'm contradicting myself there, but what I mean is, there's always tomorrow, and then we go again. Don't go, there's always tomorrow, do nothing and say, well, there's always tomorrow. No, there's always tomorrow, and then you go again. You've got to act, for it to work, you have to act in the moment of that time. So I think that's where the word hope gives you like a bit of a plate of armour, gives you a bit of, because I'm not religious, I put no stock in religion, and so I just try and, I'm sort of my own motivation in a way. I listen to a lot of very, 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 very smart people, and I take in what they say, and I enjoy it, and then I sort of just mould myself through that, because you're not them. You're never going to be them, you're always going to be you, but work on you. So, yeah. So that's how I see it, that's how I see life. Yeah. It's funny before, because I was actually, it's like, people are different, aren't they? People are different. Everybody's different. And sometimes, people just live their lives the way you want to live. I mean, I don't get it. So I was driving to the office about 10 minutes ago, and I seen a lady on the other side of the road at the lights, and it was an overweight lady. She was carrying a few pounds, and I've never seen this before. And I'm not jumping to conclusion, it could be for someone else, but she's overweight, and in a one hand she had Greggs. Greggs is not the best source of healthy nutrition to eat, I guess, but she was eating a pasty. It was a pasty, and in the other hand she had McDonald's. She's already overweight. I'm not having a go. You live the life the way you want to live, but you can't moan, can you? You can't moan about being overweight and being fat if you're going to be, it's the first person I've ever seen with Greggs and McDonald's together. I mean, Manchester Fort's up there, isn't it? Is it Greggs? There's a Greggs, yeah, it's Greggs, and there's a McDonald's up there, isn't it? So, yeah, she's obviously been to both at the same time. I'm not having a go, but just have McDonald's or Greggs. Don't have them both. Anyway, I'm not having a go. You want to be fat and be unhealthy. That's your choice. Nothing against it. Just don't moan. Yeah, I don't think I talked as much about space as I should have done, really, I think. Yeah, I've talked about the Hubble telescope. Love that. That's mint. Yeah, I'm going to try and get an image of what I was talking about before, which is it's better in it. If anybody listens to this, or if anyone's listening, and they can see what I was talking about with that famous image. I don't know what it's called. I've got my laptop here, so I think I'll do my podcast from now on in the office. I think I've got my laptop set up. I think this is where I'll do them now. one a week. If I get one listener a week, I'll be happy with that. I'll carry on doing them. Why not? I'll try and find that image. There's a name for it. There's a name for it. Sound like a gun. There's a name for it. I've got what it's called. It might be that. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful image. How can you not be excited by space? It's just a mystery, isn't it? You don't. How can you not be excited by space? Look at that thing. I'll try and find it. It's called Ultra Deep Hubble Ultra Deep Field. Is it? It might be that. Might be the Hubble Ultra Deep Field image. I think that's what it's called. Yep. And like what Professor Brian Cox was saying with the 5p thing, I've got a 20p piece. It's not 5p, is it? But context, scale, even smaller than that. So you get 5p piece, then you hold it up to your eye line, and then it's fuck's sake, I should have done a little bit more research on this. I just remember him saying it. I remember reading it, and I remember him saying it in a lecture. So I've held it up. I think it's 70 meters away from your eye line, like that. And then this image that you'll see now. Yeah, basically that image is from that pinprick of an area of the image being taken in space. So the size of a 5p piece, 70 meters from your eye line, taking a picture, and that is what came back. Thousands of galaxies, billions and trillions of stars, just in that little point. So what's in everything else, underneath, above, everywhere? How many, what? It's unfathomable, isn't it? You can't really come up with a number, really. I just don't think you can. And stars are being born and dying all the time, aren't they? That's how it happens. That's the life cycle, and they burn out all the time. I don't know if it's happening all the time. Might be. There's that many. It might be. There might be. Also, a little drop in knowledge, actually, talking about stars and space. How amazing is that when you look up? Well, there we go. Do you believe in ghosts? I believe in ghosts. Not necessarily human ghosts. You know, I hate saying things like that when I'm in somewhere on my own. It's like they can hear you or something and they go, right off, well, you fucking not believe in ghosts, I'll show you. But no. Yeah, I'm on my own here now, and the lights are off over there. I don't know how old this building is. But I don't mean that type of ghosts, but you should believe in ghosts because you can see them every night when you look up if there's a clear sky. Chances of that in Manchester are pretty slim, but if you look up into the night sky and you see the stars, the tiny little bits of light of stars flickering away, the whole sky, the sky's full of ghosts. Them stars, for that light, you know, I don't know how far that star is away, but we're talking millions of light years, hundreds of thousands of light years. Millions of light years? Maybe millions of light years, could be a distant galaxy, Andromeda galaxy or something like that. Thousands and thousands of light years away. So for that light to travel and reach your eye and register, it took thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years travelling at the speed of light, 298 million meters per second. So you're effectively looking at a star, depending on the distance, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,000 years in the past. Real shit. So effectively, you should believe in ghosts because we see them every night in the sky. Just basic science, basic astronomy and science. That was my drop in knowledge, or a couple of drops in knowledge. A couple of drops in knowledge. Bit heavy this podcast today, I think, emotionally, philosophically, but it is what it is. Just this is not what it's about. This podcast is just me literally just riffing out off the cuff stuff. Still not completely set on the name yet. Might just name it my name with podcast at the end. We'll see. But for now, I'm just getting out there, seeing what everybody thinks. Yeah, just talking. I think I've covered some bases. I've covered what I said I was going to cover today, life, or my take on it, I should say, and a juicy topic in space, physics. I don't understand why we still believe in God to an extent. Well, not in the biblical sense. I think we're further on enough now to drop that, to just put the book down. Put that old book down, written by old people, maybe young people, but not very knowledgeable people. People that had the same views of stoning people to death, or putting people on crosses, or until they die, or what else did they do back then? Probably believe in witches and stuff. They were in a non-horrible way, they were so fucking stupid compared to where we are now, thousands of years later. We still believe in a book that's thousands of years old. Thousands of years later, and all this that we know, we've got pictures. These are the people that thought the Earth was the centre of everything, and everything rotated around the Earth. Now, what happened to the Greek mythology? What happened to Greek mythology? That was believed once, just as passionately as Christianity or Islam or Judaism. What happened to Greek mythology? Well, the answer's in the title. It became a mythology. It became a myth. But it was believed extremely strong at one point, probably for thousands of years. Zeus, the god of gods, or king of gods, or whatever you say. Apollo, the god of the sun, or god of the something. That fella in the seas with a trident. This was believed one time. This was like, let's sacrifice a goat for the god of the seas for a safe journey across the sea to go and sell some cloth. That was believed. That was normal at one point. And then I guess, time goes on, we got bored of Zeus and his lightning bolts and his missus and his son, and got bored of all them and moved on to some organised religion. Let's get some order to it, create some religions that, you know, you must believe in him or get the death penalty. Yeah, and we're still there. As sad as that sounds, we're still there to a certain extent. Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully we can push on as a civilization and move away from religion. I mean, I doubt it's going to be anytime soon. I had hope, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. There's too many nutters. Especially what's going on in the Middle East as well. I mean, even when you watch some programs over there, they're just, you know, it's not the most educational program to watch, but I watched Ross Kemp on Syria, and what else did I watch? Ross Kemp on Lebanon. Mental. Totally mental. They're killing each other. Oh, I don't want to get into it. But it's just mental. Absolutely mental. And how do you... Can you cure mentalness? I mean, I don't mean the mentalness. Don't think that's a word. Mentality. There we go. That's what many people have, mentality, and well, we all have mentality. It's just how is our mentality structured? How is our personality and mentality structured to shape who we are? Well, there we go. I mean, I think some of them are genuinely mental, but I think that how can you change a mentality that's so far gone? I don't think you can. You can only do that through the youth and the generations, and at the moment in time, again, it's the same thing. They're just being brainwashed by their elders and the family or whatever, and it grows up and it's the same vicious cycle. But one day we will get past that, I hope. And I think when civilization does get past that, and I mean all walks of life of civilization, every different race of human being, I hope one day they look back on some interplanetary spaceship looking down on Earth, because we've finally come to our senses of we need to protect that, and let's move all industrial plantation and industrial manufacturing plants and just move it into space, into the vacuum of space. That's not my idea. That's another program I watched the other night, which is an incredible idea. How clean and how beautiful would the Earth be if we could just move all the manufacturing on the planet? So all that smog in China, which is just mental. Why would you go there on holiday? Why would you go to China on holiday? Well, not China, I mean China's big cities on holiday. I'm sure it's great, but all the skies are the same. Just grey smog. Look at that building. Grey smog. It's a shame, really. It's a shame. I mean, that's where, you know, the biggest manufacturing plants in the world are. That's where everything gets made in China, I guess. But imagine if we could move all that. And let's press a reset button. Because the Earth will do that. The Earth, you know, if we stopped polluting it, really, the way we are and the way we're doing it now, you know, the Earth, she's alive. This is the big organic spaceship that we're on, blasting through space. Get that in your noggin. Eh? We're literally on an organic spaceship. The Earth is the spaceship. blasting through space at a speed, I don't know, but I will find out. Hang on. Oh, wait a minute. The Earth is moving, the Earth, our organic spaceship, is moving through space, the vacuum of space. Doesn't say vacuum, but I like saying that. At 67,000 miles per hour, which equates to 30 kilometers per second. We're moving now 30 kilometers per second. But gravity doesn't allow us to feel it. Or maybe it does, we're just used to it. Maybe it does. Maybe if someone came here from a different planet who's not used to the speeds of the Earth, might throw up or something. No. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why I said I don't know. How fast is the Milky Way? Oh, there's one. Well, all right. Well, the sun, that's interesting. And this is, again, I think when I touched on that when I was at home in the first part of the podcast, was how, you've got the notion of nothing, the fact of nothing carries on forever. Nothing. Everything will end at some point. Everything's got a lifespan. The Earth, the sun, the galaxy, the Milky Way, the nearest to us, the Andromeda galaxy, and then the universe. Everything will burn out at some point. Everything has a lifespan. And, at some point the Earth will be so far away from the sun, I'm guessing, because the sun is... Oh, no. Incorrect, sir. You are incorrect, sir. No, I'm right. No. I'm incorrect. At some point in the distant future, the Earth will smash into the sun. The sun is moving at 45,000 miles per hour through the vacuum of space. The Earth, this organic spaceship, is moving at 67,000 miles per hour. Do the math. So at some point, I mean, that might get to a point of where we might never ever really catch it up. The sun might, when the sun burns up all its gas, hydrogen. When the sun burns up, it becomes a red giant, doesn't it? So it expands. So it might just take the Earth out when it expands to bigger than what it already is, which it will, becomes a red giant. And then, does it become a red giant and then a white dwarf, then explode? Or does it explode, become a white dwarf, which is like a pulse, and it some sort of order like that, I can't remember. Yeah, I mean, I'll try and mix this up a little bit now. But I think we've covered life, covered a bit of space, a couple of drops in knowledge. Yeah. So I'd say just try not to worry too much. And just enjoy life and be happy and appreciate your family. Be around them. I mean, I don't know. When people have get brought up differently, different circumstances, totally different everything. Mine, great mum and dad, brought up really well. Great brothers and sisters. So it's like, it's different, isn't it, for everybody? It is different for everybody. It's like with me, it's like, I've got many goals and dreams I want to achieve in my life, but I want to enjoy getting there. I don't want to make myself suffer in a sense of getting there. I won't shy away from, knockbacks and stuff, of course not. That's part of life. But I don't want to. You need to be careful you don't miss out. You need to be careful you don't jump into that big con of what life's really about. And I think I'm quite lucky to think that I've realised that now at 28. I think even a bit younger, maybe for a couple of years now, maybe about 26, 27 years. So I sort of realised that what life's really about. Chase your dreams, go for it. Don't ever give up, but don't fall into that trap of the con. The con being missing on everything that's important, i.e. family, the time with the people that you love most, your best friends, your family, but the people that you always go back to. Don't always go back to. Don't have them in the back. Have them with you all the time. Always involved. Always be around them. That's what you will regret. Regret? Saying to Jonathan Ross then. That is what you will regret the most, I think, if you fall into the trap of the con in the society of chasing something, or maybe you're not even chasing something, maybe you're just working a job and you're working, maybe it's a job you like, maybe it's a job you're not, but you're in lots of money, but you're just spending hours and hours and hours and hours with people you don't like or people you don't get on with, and then years go by, and if a loved one's going to pass away, or people that you care about are coming to the end, and I guarantee you the one thing that will go through your mind, forget all the money that you earn or the other bullshit that goes with the standard protocol of this society that we live in, and get into that upper echelon of chasing the money. I guarantee you'll regret not being able to have enough time with family or your best friends, and sort that out now. And I think, and it's not like going, choose one or the other. Of course it's not. And if I was to choose one or the other, I know what I would choose. But I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to sell you on the idea. I'm saying find the balance. Get that balance. And I think that's how you can enjoy it, reaching your goals, but enjoying it. And, yeah, anyway, that's what I think. So, I'll play a song. I think I'll choose a song at the end of each podcast. Just like as in, here's a new tune. I mean, I always love when people tell me about new tunes, and I like it, and I'm like, fucking hell, why have I never heard this music before? So I think I'll just it might be a song you've heard before, but it might not be, and it might get you into the artist and all sorts of stuff. I love music. Music's a big thing for me. I love music, so I'll pick a song at the end of each podcast, and I'll play it out, and copyright issue. Interesting. Might not let me upload it to YouTube, and copyright will be able to play it on your phone. Shit. Fuck. We'll see what happens. I'll play a tune. Right, well, it's been episode 2. I hope it's been better than the first one. A bit more honest this time, a bit more just being me, I think. I'll just strip back, here's what it is. Stay safe from that. That's it.
Watched it slip away. Excessive flashpoints beyond all reach. Solitary demands for all I'd like to keep. Let's take a ride out, see what we can find. Valueless collection of hopes and past desires. Look beyond the day in hand. There's nothing there at all. Now that I've realized how it's all gone wrong, gotta find some therapy. This treatment takes too long. Deep in the heart of where sympathy has sway. Gotta find my destiny before it gets too late.